Welcome to the Creepypasta Survival Guide, where the unknown lurks and fear takes shape. Join Ethan Reeve, your guide to surviving the most terrifying tales on the web. I'm the Doctor, and I'll be leading you through these spine-chilling adventures. The Hollow City. Ethan stumbled out of the maze of whispers, his chest heaving and his legs trembling. The oppressive atmosphere of the maze gave way to a new terror. A sprawling, desolate city that stretched infinitely in all directions. The buildings were monolithic, constructed from the same black glass as the maze, their surfaces reflecting distorted images of Ethan as he passed. The streets were silent, but the air buzzed with an energy that set his nerves on edge. The entity had not followed him. For the first time since entering this nightmare, Ethan was completely alone. The city was devoid of life, yet Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Shadows flitted at the edges of his vision, and when he turned to look, they vanished. The black box in his hand pulsed faintly, its hum now synchronized with the subtle vibrations beneath his feet. It seemed to be guiding him, pulling him toward the city's heart. As he walked, he noticed the signs. At first, they were subtle. A tattered poster on a crumbling wall, depicting a figure with no face. A broken vending machine, stocked with candy bars labeled Smile, and a rusted bicycle abandoned on the sidewalk, its front wheel twisted into a perfect spiral. Then came the messages. Scrawled in red on the walls and sidewalks, they seemed to address him directly. Don't turn around. Keep moving. They're closer than you think. Ethan's pace quickened. He couldn't help but glance over his shoulder, but each time there was nothing there, only the empty street stretching endlessly behind him. At the center of the city stood a massive clock tower, its face cracked and its hands frozen at 3:33. The box's vibrations intensified as Ethan approached, the hum now accompanied by a faint, rhythmic ticking that seemed to emanate from the tower itself. When he reached the base of the tower, he found a door slightly ajar. Above it, etched into the stone, was a single word: Enter. Ethan hesitated. He thought of the Keeper's warning. The maze feeds on your fears. It will twist your thoughts and memories against you. Was this another test, another illusion designed to break him? But the box left him no choice. Its hum grew deafening, compelling him to step inside. The spiral staircase. The interior of the clock tower was dark and cavernous, its walls lined with gears and cogs that moved sluggishly, grinding against each other as though they hadn't been oiled in centuries. A narrow spiral staircase wound upward, disappearing into the shadows above. Ethan began to climb. Each step echoed in the silence, the sound magnified to an almost unbearable level. The whispers from the maze returned, faint and indistinct, but growing louder with every step. Halfway up, he noticed the photographs. They were pinned to the walls at irregular intervals, sepia-toned and weathered with age. Each one depicted scenes that felt disturbingly familiar. A birthday party he barely remembered, a family vacation from years ago, his sister's face smiling brightly. As he climbed higher, the photos grew darker, capturing moments he'd tried to forget. The accident, the hospital room, the empty chair at the dinner table. Then came the photos he didn't recognize. They showed him in places he'd never been, with people he'd never met. In one, he stood in front of a small, decrepit cabin deep in the woods, his expression blank. In another, he sat at a table in a dimly lit diner, his reflection in the window staring back at him with empty eyes. At the top of the staircase, Ethan found himself in a circular chamber. The room was dominated by the clock's massive inner workings, its gears turning slowly but steadily. In the center of the room stood a figure shrouded in shadows, its form flickering like a dying flame. "You've come far, Ethan," it said, its voice a chorus of whispers. "But the Hollow City is not kind to those who linger. Your time is running out." Ethan's grip tightened on the box. "What do you want from me?" The figure stepped closer, its outline becoming sharper. It wore a suit, the fabric frayed and stained, and its face was eerily familiar. It was the man who had given him the box in the pawn shop. "You were chosen," the man said, his smile revealing rows of sharp, gleaming teeth. "Not for who you are, but for what you could become. The Forgotten need a bridge, and you're the perfect candidate." "A bridge?" Ethan's voice cracked. "What does that even mean?" The man's smile widened. "You'll find out soon enough. But first, there's one more test." A door materialized in the far wall, its surface pulsating like a heartbeat. The man gestured toward it. "Through there. If you survive, you'll understand your purpose. If not, well, you'll be one with the city." Ethan's instincts screamed at him to run, but there was nowhere to go. He stepped through the door and into a narrow corridor bathed in crimson light. The walls were lined with mirrors, each one reflecting a version of himself that twisted and warped as he moved. The whispers grew deafening, and the shadows at the edge of his vision began to take shape. They were tall and gaunt, their movements jerky and unnatural. Their faces were blank, save for wide, empty smiles. One by one, the mirrors shattered as the shadows emerged, their laughter a cacophony of madness. Ethan ran, his breath ragged and his heart pounding. The corridor seemed endless, the exit always just out of reach. Just as the shadows closed in, Ethan felt the box in his hand grow cold. A burst of light erupted from it, forcing the shadows to recoil with agonized shrieks. The corridor dissolved around him, and he found himself back in the circular chamber. The man in the suit was gone, replaced by the keeper. Its glowing eyes regarded him with something akin to respect. "You're stronger than I thought," it said. "But strength alone won't save you. The Forgotten grow restless. Your next trial awaits." Before Ethan could respond, the floor beneath him gave way, plunging him into darkness once more. "You've made it through another nightmare, but the darkness never sleeps. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you survived the terror. Until next time, remember, stay alert, trust no one, and keep your flashlight close. I'm the Doctor, and I'll see you on the other side."